Welcome to more World of Warplanes content from this channel, and in this video I keep my heavy high and I dominate the sky once again. The map is a peripheral mission and the variant is perimeter, and strategically we have two garrisons, and as you know garrisons confer 3 resources every 5 seconds and that's it, and military bases which do the same but additionally launch rocket strikes against enemy sectors or neutral sectors. Of course they don't shoot at each other. Tactically, the team that holds military bases, both of them, for longest, will win this battle. Looking at the order of battle, I have a top tier heavy along with another top tier heavy, a Blenheim F, and 3 tier 3 companions, 1 bomber, a fighter and a multi-role. On the opposition team there is an I-1629, which is a good premium multi-role but can't fly at altitude, so no threat to a high flying heavy. A specialised Bisha 2, which is good on this map since you want to capture military bases. A specialised BK534, which is an excellent aircraft but again not much use at altitude. An I-16E multi-role and an AR-80 fighter. This is a favourable set of circumstances for both the heavies on my side, myself and Tibor 1. We ought to do well. So tactically there's no doubt about what should be done here. We need to go for military bases. I'm going to go to the one in the top of the map, the nearest one. You'll see my heavy colleague does something different. He heads off towards the opposing military base. That's also a good tactic. If you can even only stop them from taking their enemy military base, and I managed to take ours, we're in a good position. So either tactic is viable at the start of a battle. I've chosen the easier one. My colleague has chosen the harder one, and I wish him good fortune with it. So I've climbed and I'm immediately looking for the air defence heavies that defend military bases, so I can shoot them down. Now they've chosen an unusual and difficult pattern for me here, and it means that I am going to take damage from one of the heavies whilst I'm attacking the other. The first heavy is down, but as you can see an enemy aircraft has already arrived at this military base. It's an enemy heavy who has much the same in mind as my colleague in the Blenheim, who's gone to the enemy military base, and I've taken not only damage from a heavy, but I've been hit by flak pretty hard. Now this turns out to be a bot, so you can see that bots have intelligent ideas as well about taking military bases. However, he falls to my guns. I refocus on the remaining air defence heavy. Don't quite take him out. Consider going for the bomber, but decide that I need to finish the heavy first. And as you can see, the flak has worked me over to the point where I'm perilously close to being shot down. Fortunately, at that point, by shooting down the air defence heavy, I managed to flip the base. And as you can see, I'm now getting field repairs. These will never fully repair your aircraft. That can only happen at a repair base, which isn't on this map. But it's good to see that I'm getting these back before I assault the bomber. Keeping a careful eye on what turns out to be the BK535 below. The bomber takes out my engine. I consider going down for the BK and then decide if I don't kill him, I'm in trouble because I don't have an engine. I have a second think about it, and then I make the right decision and head slowly towards the enemy military base. And as you can see, it hasn't been captured yet, so I presume my friend in the Blenheim F did a good job of holding them up. So I begin to analyse what targets I'm going to attack first, and I make a mistake. I decide that the bigger threat to me is actually the heavy, so I chase it. And whilst I'm chasing it, the base is flipped to the enemy. I should have taken the bomber, which was low health, and shot it down first. So now the enemy has 2 sectors to 1, and I'm going to have to make sure I take this military base, or we're in danger of losing this battle. but we also need to keep our own military bases. I don't want the enemy bombers going over there and flipping it, so I decide to take them out first. It's a prime role of heavy aircraft to take out bombers, and even if they're not in sectors, it's often a good idea to take them out and prevent them from getting to your own sectors. The BK-534 appears in front of my sights, and with good long-range guns I'm able to shoot him before he can do anything about it and take him down. Likewise with the Hurricane. But these kills are outside the sector. I really need to get some work done in the sector, so now I'm going up for the air defence aircraft. There goes the first. The second comes head on at me as I expected. I managed to take him out as well. The sector is half flipped, and now I'm looking to see what I can do. Well, the first thing to do is take out the remaining enemy aircraft if I can, and it turns out to be the I-1629 who goes, and now I'm looking for a target of opportunity to destroy with my bombs. This should flip the sector. So you might think it's odd to select the 10 tent target. Be aware, 10 tent targets confer a lot of influence points over a sector. They're well worth hitting. And in this case I was right to bomb it. As you can see, that flipped the military base to us. And now my team is in a much safer position. Fortunately for me, a number of aircraft choose to fly straight at my heavy, and with my firepower, that's not a good idea for them. I pick up easy kills, and the Winged Legend goes through. Now I could have headed off to the garrison here, but strategically, as I mentioned at the start, the important sectors here are the military bases. So I choose carefully what I wish to do, and I decide to go back to the military base nearest the enemy spawn point. That's where most of the action is going to be. The other military base is in a relatively safe situation. I don't need to chase across the map and save it. And again, the long-range guns on the BF-1110B work beautifully. I'm shooting down targets that can do nothing about it unless they evade and then get behind me. Now I can see that I have 4 enemy aircraft behind me, even though one is occupied chasing a plane at the side of the map, so I decide to gain boost and altitude and then turn to face them, except that a Wirraway comes into the base. That needs to be disposed of, so I do. And there goes the Maguire medal, 400 capture points in a single sortie in a heavy. And the Hero of the Sky badge must have of course gone through there as well. And that's a 5 chevron battle. And now I turn to face the 3 enemy aircraft that have come into the base. Still trying to gain altitude. I haven't really got enough, but fortunately they're all down fairly low, so I've still got a height advantage. And remember, when I say keep your heavies high, sometimes that means just relative to the enemy. I stick to my principle of clearing out the top, so I shoot down both heavies that are in the sector first. As you can see, possession of the military bases has now put the enemy team in an impossible situation. The military bases have taken out the garrisons and flipped them to our side. I see the enemy human ground attacker below me. I dispose of him, and that was the ace. 20 aircraft in a single battle shot down. So that was the 3rd time I went low, and again it was the 3rd time I went low after making sure that everything above me was out of the way. And we end up with a nice haul of medals and quite a nice personal points tally, ramming home the point that if you fly your aircraft well and keep your strategy in mind at all times, you will do well in a battle generally. So let's review the outcome of this battle. And as we can see in the centre, it's a 5 chevron battle. It's the best result, a grade 1 heavy fighter. Gross 127,688 credits, that's with a premium account. Silver if you prefer. These next two items will also be subject to bonuses. Popping across to the message box, we can see that there were no expenses because the aircraft wasn't shot down and I used prepaid consumables. 5,491 experience with bonuses, 274 free experience with bonuses, and 5 tokens, one for the McCampbell, the Marseille, Hero of the Sky badge, Winged Legend, and an ace. Going to the personal score tab, we can see that most of the class specific missions were complete. Just this one here not quite done. One more aircraft would have done it. 21,670 personal points, 2 sectors captured, reflecting the fact that I concentrated on the missile bases. 21 aerial targets destroyed, one more than the ace of course, needed for the ace. 4,188 damage to aerial targets, 28 critical hits, capture points of 560, and if we hover over that we can see that that was split 240 with defending sectors and 324 attacking sectors. This time there are 2 ground targets destroyed and 2,722 ground target damage. Now I deliberately selected soft low scoring targets because that was all that was needed to flip the base and I was most likely to destroy them with my bombs. Going to the team score tab, we see that was enough for first place and everybody else participated and I hope that they had a good time. Decent game for the Bisha 2 on the opposing team, the Pascal. Clearly he knows what he's doing, just a little bit unlucky to be matched up against a top tier heavy. So this was a second slice of keep it high and dominate the sky in your heavy. I combined a strategic common sense with an awareness of what the aircraft I was flying, a heavy, is good at. I cleared out the top, as I always do, and then and only then chose to go down, in this case using ordnance to flip bases. I could have been shooting at lower flying targets of course to do the same thing. That resulted in a handsome victory. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope you return to see more of my content. Until then, this is Royal Flying Corps signing out.